With her can-do attitude, love of simple gardens and decades of experience, Charlie Dillett is one of Britain's best-loved gardeners.
I'm in the element, boys!
But the Rich brothers are the new trendsetters. Winners of multiple medals at the Chelsea Flower Show.
It's perfect, look at that.
Yeah.
The boys have become known for their dramatic outdoor spaces. Now these two different generations of gardening are going head-to-head.
I know they've got a gold medal, but I can come up with a few ideas.
They're meeting frustrated garden owners across the country.
What do you like about the garden? Nothing!
And will each pitch them a design based on their needs.
You look confused.
Yeah, go for it.
And budget. The winner
Charlie! Yeah!
brings their design to life. And the loser,
Goodness me!
when difference has to help them build it. This is styles collide.
What have you done?
It's what happens
Oh my god!
Charlie?
Oh, shut up!
to turn garden dreams into reality.
Wow! You've created an amazingly magical space.
It's time for the designers to discover what today's garden challenge will be.
Look at this for a beautiful view. Overlooking the River Trent. It's Emma and Steve's garden.
Emma and Steve live in Hoveringham in the heart of Nottinghamshire countryside.
We're very lucky in that we live on the banks of the Trent, and that's what we love about being here, and we really do want to make the most of the river and the surrounds, though we can't do that with the garden in the state it is at the moment.
It's a front garden. Oh, you wouldn't know, would you? See, that's the surprise.
Sitting out the front of the house, we need something a bit more picturesque for our immediate view than we've got at the moment.
Their river view. But at the moment, not surprisingly, their prime spot comes at Emma and Steve want to make the most of their price.
If we put deck chairs or anything out here, we're right amongst walking land here. You can walk all along the river, so people stop at the end of the garden and just stare in at you. It would be quite nice to have a bit more privacy in the garden.
They've got a sort of nautical feel going on there.
Nice. I hope so, with the water there in the distance. Makes sense.
Whereas this whole building used to be an old pub, when it was split into houses, ours was named the Boatman's House in memory of the boat that used to bring people across from the other side of the river to come and enjoy the pub. So we felt it would be lovely to have half a boat in the garden to signify that.
Emma and Steve are under no illusions about the current state of their garden.
It hasn't really got any degree of organisation at the moment. It's really a canvas waiting to be painted upon, I suppose.
The budget's £3,000.
Because we get the sun in the morning, we're going to put some,
Okay.
some sort of veg patch or something if we can.
Look at that. It isn't too bad. Is it, like Harry said, with the existing elements there already, I think it's just keeping it quite minimal and then letting the landscape beyond do the talking. Yeah.
And even looking back, it looks a fabulous backdrop, the sort of front of the house.
Oh, yeah, the house looks lovely.
I think they're open to anything that's a bit different and really enhances that view.
That's quite nice. It means we can get a little bit more creative, doesn't it?
We're reliant upon the designers working out the limitations of our gardening skills.
So, working to that brief, Charlie and the Rich brothers are tasked with creating a garden to address all of Emma and Steve's needs. The couple will select their preferred design, and the losing designer will work alongside the winner to build it. The £3,000 budget will be used to buy all the materials and plants for the new garden, but Charlie and the Rich brothers, along with a crack team of landscapers, will provide all the labour. It's time for the
Good afternoon.
designers to present their ideas.
Steve.
Hi, Charlie. Hello.
The brothers are starting at the top of the garden.
So this is your house here. So what we've done, we've left the patio area as it is, but then leading out from the patio, we've got this kind of slightly disjointed pathway that leads through two planting beds. Within the planting beds here, what we want to do is use predominantly grasses, a bit of a dune landscape, things that are quite low maintenance. But then within the grasses then, a few kind of perennials that will pop up, give you that little bit of colour.
This is your patio area that I've extended to make it a bit more usable. And then I'm actually going to slightly bank and undulate the soil at the sides so that with the planting you'll get almost like a sand dune effect. And then we've got these boardwalks that zigzag down that will lead you further into the garden to a sunken deck area that people will have to go on tippy-toe, so that when you sit low, if they're looking down, you'll still see the view in to see you.
As you journey through here, this gets you into this main area, which is a sunken seating area.
Sinking down also means that, you know, you'll be slightly away from the wind as well. So again, it's a very sheltered spot. It's really going to create this little private area where you guys can wander around, sit down and really enjoy being in your front garden.
Great minds think alike. They've both used a sunken deck to enable Emma and Steve to enjoy that all-important view in private. So far, both gardens are quite similar. Winning could come down to whatever the designers have in mind for the bottom of the garden and the use of the couple's existing ornaments.
This is your lovely bench here with the view looking up the garden, and this is quite open, sort of gravels, and then I've turned your bit of a boat that's moored up on the sands into out of sight.
And when you get down
to a table, come play
here, you go down a few steps down
to store your beers under the
some area, so right at the front of the garden. And we wanted to leave some lawn here. It's quite nice, keeps the view open. But we wanted to put a nice little bench in, possibly the one you're sitting on right now, and then have the front of the boat sticking out from the bench, so you guys could sit down in your little boat, look at the view, and have some fun, hopefully.
The designers have one last thing to address: the couple's desire for a vegetable patch.
With the vegetables, I've literally put those in through the planting. You don't have to have vegetable beds that are definite beds. It's quite easy to grow things like sweet corn and tomatoes mixed in with your planting.
We also want to put a vegetable bed at the bottom, then that you can kind of grow your own things in and kind of, over the years, kind of work out what exactly you want, and can chuck it right from the garden straight into the kitchen, and you guys can cook away with it.
Wonderful.
Perfect.
Thank you very much, guys.
Cheers.
Thank you. If you're contemplating.
Thank you. See you in a bit.
I say we go this way, Rich.
The pitches are over,
Back out to the river, is it?
I will leave.
and Emma and Steve must now make their choice. Both designs offer a private sunken seating area, and both also promise to preserve the river view. But Emma and Steve can only pick one.
Hard, isn't it?
They're so similar and both so beautiful. It's been an incredibly difficult decision. Both your designs are absolutely fabulous. We really love them. It's taken a lot to make a decision. So,
Ta-da!
Yay! Well done! Yay!
Awesome, thank you, guys.
You're
Brilliant.
pleased.
Very
Yay.
pleased.
we love the boat facing out to the river, and the bit of grass did help.
Yeah.
Nice, brilliant. Cheers, guys. Very exciting.
Right, I'll just be messing about by the river then when we build.
The Rich brothers are delighted to have won the pitch, but they're going to need Charlie's help to rescue Emma and Steve's running of the build and the team's arrived unloved space. Before they can start excavating, it's the monitoring the area for the sunken deck. The team needs to clear the garden, taking care to keep the bits the Rich brothers want to reuse.
Where are we going?
And Emma and Steve's neighbours have kindly allowed the team to use their garden for storage.
No, I turn round.
We just pirouette there, didn't we?
There we go, yeah.
A nice little dance, that.
With the area cleared, Bowen can mark out the space to be excavated so that Andy can get digging. With a clearly defined area to work with, Lee and Steve can lay the sleepers that will make up the retaining walls of the sunken seating area. Harry and David's design includes a paved path, which will sweep through a richly planted area. Lee and Steve are still hard at work. The path will run around the edge of the sunken seating area, where Lee... Having put the finishing touches to their design, the Rich brothers and Charlie have arrived.
Now, the garden is coming along beautifully, made a massive impact already. And one of the main parts of this garden is this sunken space here. It's gorgeous. And the whole idea of it is that Emma and Steve can walk out of their house and walk into this lovely private sunken space.
But the use of wood really does depict that boat kind of character. And also, it's lovely because it makes a great seat. And that's why we've kind of integrated it in with the rest of the garden. Because when you drop down, you actually get rid of that view of the road. And it really does accentuate the river and fields and trees beyond. But with this area, we kind of wanted to keep it a little bit more informal.
But at the moment, it's a little bit messy. So I think we've got a little bit of work tidying it up before we can get planting.
Emma and Steve are the first to admit that they do anything else. They need to clear they've let their garden get away from them, the original patio. So before Harry and David can...
The use of this patio has almost changed, and we like the idea of it maybe being an area to barbecue and, you know, a little kind of transition space from the house into the garden.
And that's exactly why we're getting rid of these weeds here, because we want to retain this bed right here outside the doors. And what we'd like to do is all the planting that we're going to put in here, we'd like to drift that across and put it into this bed here. It formalises the space, softens it, and creates those nice little roots around that doesn't block out any of the view.
I have a question, sirs. Aye, aye.
Aye. Yeah.
This veg bed, where is it going?
Ooh, down the bottom, definitely. Where down the bottom, we're not quite sure.
Come along, come along. This here veg bed is going somewhere down here, I guess.
Yes.
Veg bed's over here. Come on.
You have got it.
Charlie's on a mission.
Oh, that's not too bad. OK. Who's driving this ship? What's the idea here? 3, 2, 1. You go your way a little bit.
I mean, a vegetable bed, even one that's a metre by a metre, you can get an awful lot of vegetables out of that. So that's, I mean, that's a good 2.5 metres by a metre.
That's
lots. Hope you got the budget for the veg.
Or for the soil.
You'll still be planting them soon.
OK. So this is just a simple raised veg bed, but what we're going to do is make it critter-proof.
Wait a minute.
What do you mean, wait a minute? I can feel these eyes drilling into the back of my neck.
Well, we had a look from up there and we've changed our mind.
OK, where would you like the veg bed? Take 2.
Similar position, just twist it around.
Right then, I'm going to talk to the ducks. There's much more sense.
Following the Rich brothers' change of heart, Charlie and Andy move the veg bed.
Square up with that.
Again to fill it. Then it's time for Andy to break out his trusty digger. And Carpenter Lee is constructing a critter-proof frame.
Do I have to take my shoes off to come into this lovely...
I like the office. It's not like it's muddy, is it, for a change?
No.
Change, doesn't it?
Look at this!
Just a bit breezy.
Look, a bit of organza.
You want to wait till I've actually finished it first, Charlie?
But yeah, so that'll stop all the beasties. Get to the cabbages and the carrots. Not too bad looking, that, is it?
Because we can fold it over to double it up on the seams and put some clouts in it. Just hold it, yeah.
Are you good at frock making, are you?
I'm a bit of a seamstress. In my spare time.
In your spare time. Right then, hurry up.
Yes, boss.
Emma and Steve had in the past tried growing veg, but they weren't overly successful. So I'm hoping to give them a bit of a boost by making it, so by putting a nice frame, free as far as on the raised bed, mesh, possible of pests and disease. With this mesh, the flies, it's so fine, the flies can't get through.
I'm afraid.
Be afraid, be very afraid. Are we going to put one at each end?
As Charlie and Lee show off their upholstery prowess, nailing the net to the frame to foil potential veg patch invaders,
don't want me nose picking.
At the back of the garden, the excess spoil is being removed for recycling, so there's more room for plants.
Now this shrub here is Griselinia, and the reason we've chosen it for this garden, not only for its natural, simple leaf, but actually because it grows up to be quite shrubby, quite bushy, and situated around the seating area, it's really going to help to stop those winds. And also you can see here, and that's really important because that means even in it's got this quite delicate, almost inconsistent winter, it's going to help protect the garden. Conspicuous flower is evergreen from the wind.
Now I'm planting privet, which again is evergreen, so mixed with the Griselinia, it's going to create this lovely natural hedge line. It's going to grow nice and tall and give that lovely vertical interest, which in turn will create a much more intimate seating area.
Steve and Emma first met when they were in Australia, so the Rich brothers wanted to give a nod to their past by including some Antipodean species among the plants they've selected for the bed near the house.
This area is going to have this slight undulation, it's going to be slightly sparse, but the planting that we've chosen will really depict that more arid southern hemisphere style. Now one of the plants that really portrays this is this Libertia here. Now as you can see, it's quite architectural, it's definitely quite strong. It's evergreen, so this interest will be pushed all the way through the seasons. And these almost grass-like leaves have a beautiful colour and an orange veneer to them. And that orange flowers in spring, it whole intensifies throughout the season with a strong vertical stem. But not only that, after it, and on that stem has these lovely clusters of yellow-orange seed pods. So again, you're really pushing through that interest.
And this is Carokia, and it has a lovely architectural kind of form, but as it matures, these stems are going to weave together and knit together, so it's going to create a very gnarled appearance. Now it grows about 2 meters tall, so it's going to really create this lovely form, which is going to sit really effortlessly within this natural planting scheme.
Andy's creating something for all seasons too. A path that'll let Emma and Steve work their veg patch even in the muddy winter months. While Charlie perfects her 5-star vegetable bed.
Well, my veggie patch and critters cage is coming along really well. This isn't a cage to keep out deer or anything like this. This is for the runner beans and peas. So I'm going to plant some runner beans on this side. They'll come up this side. Peas can go on that side, climb up.
Lee to cut some lengths of copper pipe up. Because she's taking no... Charlie has asked chances when it comes to critter-proofing the veg bed.
This is to stop those pesky slugs and snails. You might have seen it on pots where you stick tape on, but this is the maxed out version of it. Permanent copper pipe, which just got all the way around the container. And basically what happens is the slugs and snails don't like crawling over copper. It gives them a little bit of electric shock. And the lovely thing about it is also goes sort of green and verdigris. So that will look quite lovely. One thing to bear in mind if you are doing this, make sure that you haven't got loads of slugs and snails in the raised bed already. Because otherwise all you do is trap them in and they will definitely eat every vegetable you've got. Go.
While Charlie's busy at the back of the garden, at the front, Steve from the house into their new... Harry wants to maximise the new sunken deck. Lush planting, which will lead Emma and...
The way this path kind of curves around to meet the straight linear line of that path. And this is something that we really wanted to accentuate in this garden. So I'm planting Mind Your Own Business, and that's great because it really mats together and it spreads and it creates this lovely green carpet. And in doing so, that green carpet is going to really highlight this rectangular form and really allow you to see that curve. So by planting a couple of individual plants like this, you're allowing it to self-seed and to really spread and create this lovely green space.
And talking of planting, Charlie's ready to start filling her critter-proof veg bed with some delicious goodies.
So I planted a nice block of strawberries in the middle of this raised vegetable bed. So around the edge, I'm going to plant some lettuce These are the sort of multicoloured ones, and they'll be like an edge bed. It looks quite nice around the edging plant. You can actually do that at the border edge if you plant as well in a normal flower, up the lettuce out. And these days, we don't tend to grow the lettuce and let them head up. We tend to prefer just picking some of the leaves, like when you buy salad at the supermarket in a bag. And that way it's there for quite a long time. You will need to re-sow sort of once every probably 4 weeks, 5 weeks, but it looks quite pretty.
It's not every day that Harry and David are asked to plan a garden around an old boat, but Emma and Steve are set on keeping this reminder of their house's history.
Now what we're going to do is we're going to have a bench situated here at the end of the path, so when they're sitting down they can look over the front of the boat and then out onto the view. But what we'd like to do, just to add it and maybe kind of unify it into the garden a little bit more, is we'd like to build a little bespoke table in here, so when they're sitting down they can use the table. It's going to link really nicely with the north, and then they can look at this beautifully critical theme that we've got in the sunken area aft the boat, which...
In we come. I think it's probably heavier than the boat.
Watch out, guys, it's a bit rocky and stormy down here.
An old weathered bench was also a firm favourite of the couple.
Well, this is another piece that we inherited from the garden, and it really just opened up the views onto the further landscape. I think it's lovely to have these different seating spaces within the garden. You've got that area, the sunken area, where you can have a lot more people, but this is more of a perch, somewhere to sit back, relax, and with a table there, maybe have the odd drink.
In the next-door neighbour's garden, Lee's been working on the table for the boat, using timber left over from the sunken deck. And with her veg bed all planted up, Charlie's found another project.
The boys have got me doing these sort of quite fun stones, painting them with sort of just stripes on them. And it looks really cool. I've learned a few things. One, that your masking tape is well. Make sure you get a nice smooth pushed onto it, pebble, and make sure. And then it's just a case of painting it, and they look really cool. Right, to paint. And in this breeze, it dries really, really quickly. It's very tranquil down here by the river. And so many birds, it's fabulous.
Once the paint's dry, Charlie can carefully peel off the masking tape.
Simple things please me. What do you think, Andy?
Working out what it is.
It's a pebble that's got stripes on it.
Let me know when it's finished.
Some people's art is other people's rubbish. Oh, I think that's quite fabulously.
There are a few final jobs to do to finish things off to the brothers' satisfaction.
We'll do this going here, Harry.
Oh, I like it.
Yeah?
Yeah, lovely.
Feature at the end of the path.
Perfect.
Lovely.
Nice. Well, the garden is nearly complete and all the plants are in and it's got a lovely atmosphere. But lawn was really important to Steve and Emma, so I'm just completing that now. And it really adds a lovely open space to the garden. And in a way, you've got these different areas that kind of filter into this open space that allows you to look back at that gorgeous view.
Fancy meeting you here.
Maybe down that side of the garden
I know, I've not
My
really...
partner for the dance.
I haven't really seen this bit of the garden. It's the first thing this morning. You've had me locked down there the whole day.
What are your thoughts then?
It's all right, I suppose. I mean, sat
You lose it all, don't you, actually?
here, you wouldn't even...
Hey.
But you still see the river?
Yeah.
No, there's a road there, would you?
No.
The view up the valley. I think it's beautiful. I think they will absolutely love it.
Before the team arrived, Emma and Steve's garden was a neglected, weed-ridden patch with nothing going for it except the view. But Harry and David's design and a budget of £3,000 has brought about an astonishing transformation. Gone is the messy, bare earth, and in its place is an elegant sunken seating area, surrounded by lush planting and providing some much-needed privacy from passers-by. Sophisticated sawn sandstone paving leads down to a new area of lawn and another place to sit or perch, which makes wonderful use of Emma and Steve's beloved old boat and bench. And Charlie's pest-proof veg bed, bursting with delicious fruit and vegetable plants, has everything Emma and Steve, what will they make of their new garden, could need.
So we know that you wanted the garden to feel a lot more private. It's very open as it was. So, it's dramatically changed actually. So, without further ado, 3, 2, 1, open your eyes. Oh my goodness!
That's incredible!
Oh wow!
It's huge!
Yeah, nice!
How did you extend the garden by that length?
There's no road now.
All the way across.
Absolutely unbelievable. Emma loves it. Absolutely loves it.
So this front area is supposed to feel a bit more rustic, almost kind of depict a bit more southern hemisphere character through the planting.
Yeah, the grasses, the reeds.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
It's nice, and then Charlie down here, so Charlie painted some, aren't they cool? Pretty much matches your dress right now.
See, a woman's intuition. I knew Emma would be in stripes. That's why I did stripes.
This is the way I've been using it today. On the odd chance I get a little time off.
Did you feel a lot more private in here? More secluded?
And these will grow up presumably and become even more secluded. It's fab, doesn't it?
It does. It's stunning. I mean, from here, you wouldn't even know anyone was sat in the garden because it's so sunken down.
Should we have a little look at the rest of the garden?
Yeah, lovely.
Oh, they're standing up quick.
So we reused your lovely bench. It's absolutely gorgeous, but it's now got a new home.
So we've involved the boat, obviously, because we thought that'd be really nice to have there. And then we put a little table around it, and there's a shrub in the middle. So it gives almost the feeling that the shrub's kind of emerged, and then when you're sitting down there, you can use the table maybe for a little drink or anything like that. That's great.
It'd be lovely to leave the grass long around it, as if it's kind of just run adrift there.
Sure. And the rocks sort of look like the waves, don't they?
I didn't think about the rocks looking like the cool.
So this is what Charlie
The foam of the bow wave.
described as the Alcatraz of the vegetable
Yeah, I can see that.
world. No insects getting in there.
Is that what the copper piping is?
Yeah, copper piping.
Stop the bugs.
Yeah, the slugs going up there, and then they've got a little
Wow.
critter cage as well, so you can actually lift that up and close it down. So that keeps all the bugs out from the key veggies in there. And there's like strawberries, we've got runner beans going up the side of the bamboo canes.
Oh, fantastic.
Right, now you've got all this.
Yeah.
So you're going to gain your green fingers and look after it.
Know any good gardeners?
Charlie Dimmock.
I hear she's very cheap. It's just absolutely incredible that you can do it in the time frame that you've done it, and the look of it is just far beyond anything we could ever have imagined. So
Amazing.
you've done us proud, guys. Thank you so
Lovely.
much.
Once the team has packed up and left them alone, Emma and Steve can properly take stock.
It's amazing. It's just a relief that it's all done and that it looks so absolutely special.
That it would be. It's
just great, isn't it?
It's just so multi-layered, and it's so much more than I ever imagined. And in terms of the styles across the garden, I just love it. Absolutely love it.